All right. Welcome to night 5 of the Chord Transformation Bootcamp. All right. Thank you guys for joining all week. We got Dallas on. John, thank you so much. Let me know where you guys are watching from in the chat. I know some of you guys already have. It's a Friday night, so if you're joining me tonight, man, you get props because you came all the way through the week. And if this is your first night, welcome as well. Man, I have had a great time. I have to say that while this isn't something I normally do, and really the only second time I've ever done a boot camp, I have to say I really appreciate you guys being a part of it and all the support from current students and all the support from people that are like currently posting, right? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I just want to make sure before I keep going with it tonight. There has been a couple glitchy things happen, but just let me know if you can hear me all right. And I really appreciate you guys being here. This is the final night, I think. I did say I might do a bonus day. So I think I'm going to do a bonus day tomorrow. All right. I have the time picked out. I'll send an email out about that. But let's do a bonus day. Let's just keep the party going. I think I'll probably do a bonus day Saturday. Tomorrow is my Saturday. I think somebody from Melbourne said it's already Saturday. Right. So this is great. So I appreciate you guys being here. So let's do a bonus day tomorrow and maybe one more on Sunday. We might do one more on Sunday, just another bonus on Sunday afternoon. Okay. So what have we learned so far this week? Okay. This has been a great week. So you might have to turn me up because I'm up about as loud as I can go, I believe. Check. Yeah. If I go any louder, check. Yeah, you might have to turn it up. Anyways, so South Carolina in the house. We got Shawnee, Kansas. Okay, not far from me. I'm in Lee Summit. And Gen X Rocker, Ohio has had a great time. Kentucky, loud and clear. It's like drinking from a fire hose, but there's a lot of gold nuggets to pull from. And if you join the All Access Pass starting on Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central Time, you're going to have all the time in the world to drink from that fire hose, and it goes much bite-sized, much slower, all right? So, and you can take your time with it because it's a lifetime membership. So we've covered all kinds of cool stuff, but tonight, everything kind of comes together, all right? We're going to do one more drawing for a couple of shirts, I think 3 shirts, and then, man, it's been a pleasure this week. Tampa, we got Tampa in the house. Oh, man, I got family in St. Pete. This is good. I love seeing where everybody's from because this is crazy. You know, it's amazing that we can kind of get together in a setting like this and really get a bunch of people, you know, going through kind of, even though it's a lot of information, going through something together, right? It's all about community. It's all about creating a bunch of good times and going through the challenge of learning to play like you've always wanted to play, but with others, right? It helps to have others in your corner and not just be by yourself in your bedroom practicing, right? I know how that feels. It's kind of a drag, so it's nice to have other people involved with it. So tonight we're kind of putting it all together, right? We learned theory the first night in my deep learning cycle, right? Second night, we got Canada in the house too. We got multiple people from Canada. That's got to be Donna's doing. And then or it could be Scott's doing. 2 current students. But we've got multiple people from all over the United States and Canada and Australia for sure. I don't know if there's anywhere else. I thought we had there's some people in other people in Europe too that are watching after the fact because of the time difference. But okay, so let's talk about it. We covered some theory, right? There was a lot there. We covered some cage system. There was even more there, right? This is all slowed down and step-by-step in my programs. And then we covered some triads. Then we put scales over the triads. Each day had specific homework, and I've been seeing homework every single day. We got Toronto. We got more Canadians here. Ontario. Oh, we already saw the Ontario. But no, check this out. Where we're going is where you want to be. Okay, we're headed towards a great thing that's going to open the doors up on Sunday. Like I said, it hasn't been open since the beginning of September. All right. So the big thing here is today we're bringing it together and we're creating music. And you're going to last night. Okay. After we did the scales over the triads, right? I showed you kind of like the framework for creating your first chordlet chord type of a concept, right? It's not all about chordlet chord stuff, but hopefully it's been a bit of a transformation leading you towards that concept all week long, right? That's been my main goal. So one thing I want you to be able to do is be able to see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, right? And it's a big journey, but it's great to go on it with others. And I would love to be able to help you get where you want to be in your guitar playing, all right? Tonight, we're going to learn even more about putting those pieces together, all right? We're going to do the final product, and we're going to learn a couple of Mississippi, all right, just south of Memphis. We're going to learn a couple of concepts here that's going to really help it come together. But first, I'm going to review it, all right? It's a good thing I keep all my picks over here because I keep dropping them. I don't know what kind of picks you guys use, and you probably can't see this, but yeah, you can a little bit. I love the Dunlop Gator Grip USA 1.14. There's like a little film on it. I feel like it keeps it stuck to your finger. Wow, we got Montreal. Man, we got all kinds of people coming in tonight. So here's the deal. We're going to go back and review this stuff, but I wanted to make sure you guys knew about the announcement. Sunday afternoon, 5 p.m. Central Time, all right? I am opening the doors for the first time in like 7 months for my Summit Guitar School All-Access Pass program, which is just me. Like, I'm going to be the one helping people get where they want to go. There's courses in there, and I'm going to break it down for you real quick right now, all right? So let's take a look at what's inside this real fast, all right? Because, yeah, we're going to go through all this stuff, of course, tonight. But you're already here, so let's just take a look at what we've got. So I'll give you a little sneak peek as to what you're going to see inside all of this. First of all, you've got the private community, but let's take a look at some of the class situations, the class situation here. And there's new ones coming as well. So, all right, let's check this out. Oh, man, we got the Caribbean in the house. Okay, that's where I need to be right now. So this is what it looks like when you hop in the course library. We've got Chordlet Chord Pro, all right? We've got tons of stuff in here to learn. If you like the Chordlet Chord stuff, there's a lot of these, okay? We got triad ones, songs with triads, electric pathway, acoustic pathway, right? And this is going to get a total overhaul in the next 3 months, next 2 months, really, right? Beginner guitar essentials, if you're really trying to like kind of beef up or like, you know, review a few simple concepts. If you're like, man, I really just couldn't get my rhythm right or I couldn't get my open chords right, boom, there you go. You know, if you got a family member that's trying to get in guitar, that's it right there. Hard time playing shapes and the pick was facing the wrong way. Yeah, that could be a thing. We got the 5 pillars of music theory, a full-length course. What I talked about on theory was just kind of touching the base level of it. This goes way deeper, and we've got all kinds of good videos in here, and you got a full ebook to help you get it down. Just like I said, working man's music theory. We got tons of modules in here, bonus triad trainings, and then we've got uncaged fretboard mastery. All right, this is what this looks like. Everything is, you know, shot nicely and it looks good. We got PDFs and backing tracks for everything. You'll know as you get through this. You've got different things that, you know, as you move through it, you just hit next module and it'll give you a check mark to let you know where you're going through, right? So full songs. Sometimes I do song challenges. Yeah. So in the community, there's song challenges. So in that case, yes, there are full songs being taught. So then, so yes, to answer your question, I mean, you got modules after modules here to help you with this. Each one has got like, you know, backing tracks, PDFs if you need them. So that is going to really help you expand your fretboard. There's going to be all kinds of good stuff coming in here. If I can go all the way back, you can see there's a lot of stuff in here. Scotland, I bet it is late, right? So we got the Triad Magic course. Man, if you're into triads, this is massive, okay? We got all kinds of great stuff in here, okay? There's even more. We got everything's PDF. You'll see the diagrams on the screen. You know, if you come in here, you're going to see, well, the PDFs are at the beginning of most of these, but you're going to see a ton of stuff, okay? So this is really, really a great. There's over 42 modules in this with PDFs and backing tracks. And then over here, you got even more right here to really nail roots, thirds, and fifths over multiple progressions. It's a beautiful, beautiful course. Unlocking seventh chords, another great course, okay? So we're going to talk about 7th chords, how to outline them, how to play over the top of them, how to use them in the blues, how to use them in jazz, minor blues and 7th chords, minor blues continued in a couple of jazz tunes that we go over, a couple of blues tunes, just to make sure. You're not late. We haven't even gotten started yet. I'm just showing off what I've got here. Unlocking the pentatonic box. This is going to be huge, right? It'll help you dive into your pentatonics really nicely and teach you how to actually start making sense of them. Modes Unlocked. This is a brand new course that's getting uploaded like literally yesterday and today. Fingerstyle Essentials and the Vault, all right? Fingerstyle Essentials is a nice course on just getting started with fingerstyle guitar. The Vault, we got literally 40, 50 hours worth of, and some of this stuff I'm doing some live versions and Q&As. These are pre-recorded live masterclasses where I'm going through and nailing all kinds of cool stuff where I've gotten questions in the community, and both tiers of the membership have access to over 40 hours worth of live masterclasses. Here's a solo lesson on turnarounds, Gravity, the song, B.B. King song, all kinds of good stuff. Felt more creative the last couple days than I have since I picked up the guitar 15 months ago. That said, I'm on the waitlist for all access. Thank you for your hard work. Thanks, Trey. Thanks, Ferguson268. Is that Trevor Ferguson? I can't tell. My eyes are getting worse. All right, so this is just some extra stuff. But there's 10 courses right here, and these are not little courses, right? A lot of people will beef up their programs and like split one triad course into 6 triad courses, and you're like, oh, look, I have 65 courses in this program, but they're all like 20 minutes long, right? So that is not been playing since Monday. You just started on Monday. That can't be right. Been playing since Monday. Hopefully you've been here since Monday. If you've been playing since Monday, you have been drinking from a fire hose. Listen, I'm not dogging on any other creators out there, but these courses are robust, big, and full of information, right? I don't put out like short little first inversion, second inversion, third inversion courses, right? I'm putting it all in the triad course, everything in the caged course, everything in the theory course. So these are full classes, okay? So now let's take another peek at what the community looks like. Let's do a little inside peek. Yeah, and some of these guys that are currently in the community haven't even seen some of these newer courses yet. So check this out. Here's the private community. We had an open mic today, right, where you can just show up and play guitar. That's what this little thing is right here. I got people messaging me about different things, feedback and whatnot. Let's see if I can get into the feed real quick here. So here's your all access community. It reminds you that we have when there's live sessions. We got John Clinton in here leaving comments. James leaving comments, and James with a video. We've got Allison in here posting a few days ago. We got people posting, man. This is me kind of announcing the Chord Bootcamp. Here's Sandy from a week ago. She's been a long-time student. She's been in here. She loves it. She's in a few of my testimonials on my website. She actually was just getting into intermediate guitar when she joined the program about a year ago, and now she's down in Nashville playing on a guitar retreat. Kind of crazy, right? So this is pretty cool stuff right here. She got in an open mic in Nashville. We got all kinds of people posting all the time. Now look, you got live session replays. All right, so check this out. I'll get to the teaching here in a second, but look, these are sessions that happen a couple times a month. Live sessions where I teach. You basically get all of if you can't make it, and you see over here where different things are happening. You'll be able to see it and be able to comment. And we've got chord lessons that happen live, right? And I'm pulling, like you can see, I'm teaching a group of people here, right? And you get access to all the PDFs. All you gotta do is click up there, and you'll get it. So this is a huge thing, right? So we can. This guy's asking about the replay. It's right there. And then these happen every month, basically. Sometimes a couple times a month. So there is a ton of value here. You're going to be able to get feedback. You're going to be able. There's John. You're going to be able to get feedback. You're going to be able to meet other people that are on the exact same journey as you. Here's somebody on What's on Your Mind. That might have been me posting. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, yeah, this was me a couple weeks back. a couple days ago, triad shapes, all kinds of cool stuff in here. So you have to keep in mind, I'm going to show you one more page and then we'll get to the teaching, right? The membership's open March 15th, okay? March 15th, that's this Sunday, all right? Central Time at 5 p.m., all right? These are all people that are in the program. And basically, I'll be sending out reminders about this, but you've got all the stuff, 10 plus more courses coming. If you join the membership, you're going to get access to all current and future courses, all right? Insider-only community for life. We're talking about for life right here, all right? Monthly masterclasses, Q&A, feedback on playing for myself and other people, Cage system application workshop, downloadable PDFs and all the keys that you need them in, all my resources, which is professional backing tracks, phrasing workshop, which wasn't even in the course library right there, right? Home recording workshop, which isn't in there either. Fingerstyle course, there it is. And then challenges and giveaways, that wasn't listed in there, but that's stuff that goes on, all right? Guest teachers and master classes, stuff that's coming. Over $10,000 worth of value here. Now, I'm about to start teaching, guys, so bear with me. We got 2 levels of membership, 2 levels, all right? So we've got silver members get access to the course library and all future courses for life, the entire diagram library. We're not talking hundreds. We're talking close to thousands of diagrams and all the keys that you want them to be in so that you're not having to search all over the internet on somebody's random blog to find caged in D, all right? All 40 hours of pre-recorded masterclasses on highly requested content. All right. That's great for self-learners, and that's an unlimited amount. I'm going to have that open all week, and there's not going to be any cap on membership there. All right. So that's a go, right? We'll talk about prices as we get into tomorrow and Sunday. So, and then the gold is getting the 10 video courses plus the entire diagram library, 40 hours of masterclasses, all this basically. All this, except for they're also getting the private community, the monthly masterclass, all these bootcamp recordings, feedback on playing, plus Q&A, and the community stuff, okay? That's going to be huge. Lifetime access to my entire course, future and current course library, diagrams, plus lifetime access to the online community group, monthly live streams, feedback on playing, and more direct access to me. I'm only allowing 50 people in this, okay? I'm only allowing 50, all right? So 50 people max because I have to be able to manage it. Like, I'm not out here to be like, let me get 5,000 people in this. I'm letting 50 people in. So enrollment is once again open from Sunday, 5 p.m. March 15th, 5 p.m. Central Time to Saturday, March 21st at 11:59 p.m. Okay, you will get some reminders from me, all right? So there's going to be 2 different levels of membership, all right? Gold is by far the most popular, all right? This is a new way I'm structuring it this time because some previous members would ask, well, I'm already in it. Am I in gold? They are in gold, but I'm giving 2 options, silver and gold, all right? Those golds will, based on the amount of emails that I've gotten and the message I've gotten, those golds will sell out. So you are going to want to put that in as an alarm in your thing on your phone for Sunday at 5 p.m. All right. I'm probably going to go live 4 p.m. on Sunday and do one more bonus session. You can put that in your calendar too, Central Time, leading up to the launch of the program. But those 50 slots will fill up before next Saturday. So I would think, based on the amount of messages that I've gotten. So with that being said, we'll get into some questions on that when it comes on Saturday and Sunday, because I'm going to do 2 bonus sessions. But man, we got testimonials for days. You're going to get all this stuff, man. This is going to be a great thing for your playing to kind of keep the ball rolling. We don't want to stop this party. We got to keep it going. So let's get into teaching, shall we? Minimize the window. Okay, so let's take a look right here. Applying the scales is what we did last night, right? So basically, I have this loop going G, A minor, C, G. What's that in number system? I dare you to write it in there. If you know the number system key of G, the A minor, and the C, and then back to G. If you can remember from Monday night, this would be a big thing to remember. Can you remember those numbers of what those chords would be in the key of G? So little jam using the pentatonics over that exact progression. got it? Let's see anybody else. Well, now the answer's out. The cat's out of the bag. Great job. Can you guys hear my guitar well enough? So I'm putting scales over these where the triads or chords would be. All right, so let's get into this teaching. Just got to make sure that guitar is sounding good. So that's scales all over the fretboard, outlining roots, thirds, and fifths, and paying attention to where my major scale and my pentatonic scale is over the entire thing. All right, so you guys are getting these answers correct. So great work, great review, and let's get into it. I don't know what that buzzing is. Oh, we got to do a drawing. Oh, there's Dickie Betts. There's some Dickie Betts in there. I was just learning some Allman Brothers. Well, I like the Allman Brothers in general. But I was just coming home from my daughter's swim meet. She's 14. And I was listening to the Allman Brothers. You know, it's really tempting to, like, when you're listening to music to, like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes and you guys got to give me your opinion. I feel like it's really tempting to, like, listen to, there's certain things that are easier to listen to than others, right? So it's like sometimes maybe I'm like wanting to listen to one thing, but I know I want to hear like some like gritty guitar solo. So I'm like, all right, my brain's kind of like, oh, let's listen to some John Mayer pop thing ish, you know, or like some like jam band thing like Fish. I'll be wanting to listen to that, but I'm like, I don't want to hear Fish right now. I love Fish. I like Fish. But, like, I want to hear some Southern rock. You know what I mean? You ever get in the mood where you're like, I need some Southern rock in my life? You know what I'm saying? Yes, Descending Thirds. Yeah. And I grew up listening to Leonard Skinner and Allman Brothers at my parents' house a lot. My dad had a lot of that stuff on. So that's what I was listening to on the way home. So maybe it just kind of crept into the brain. Let's do a drawing real quick. Real quick. In the Summit Guitar School hat. It's upside down. So I'm going to give away old school Black Sabbath. Yeah. I just bought a Black Sabbath album on vinyl from this like secondhand store by my house. I remember when I was a kid, my mom, like I was on like a band trip, like a jazz band trip. And, you know, like truck stops used to sell like those like secondhand CDs. It'd be like a big bin of them. And I found like the first Black Sabbath album for like $3 or $2 or something. And I bought it and I came home and she's like, you're not listening. And then I talking to her sister years later, and she's like, oh, yeah, your mom and I used to always listen to Black Sabbath. I was like, thanks a lot, Mom. So, anyways, there's how that goes. Anyways, let's do a drawing. I'm going to give away 3 shirts. You're going to have to email me your address. If you don't want me to know your address, I'm not paying attention to it. But if you don't want me to know your address, you're not going to get a shirt. All right, so these are all people that have not won as of yet this week. But I've got a couple new names in here from homework. And we're going to draw them, all right? So, first one. Peter Buchanan gets a shirt. Email me your size and your address, and you're getting this shirt, all right? If you don't catch the replay or if you're not in here, it's going to be hard to get it, all right? So, Peter Buchanan, you have won a shirt. Summit Guitar School swag. Mix these up again. All right. Steven Stoddart. Yeah, I would send internationally as long as it's not like $78 or something. But yeah, I've sent a shirt to Ireland before. Steven Stoddart, you've won a shirt, my friend. All right, email me your address and size. And then I keep looking in. Let me not look in. All right, this one I definitely didn't see. I'm going to keep with the same one. Wayne Saxton. Wayne Saxton. Boom. There you go. Wayne Saxton, Steven Stoddart, and Peter Buchanan. You have all won some Summit Guitar School shirts. So that's our last drawing for the week. So I hope you guys had fun with that type of a thing. So now let's get into this, shall we? Session 5. Bringing it all together, creating your own chordlet chord idea. All right. So, yeah. Well, let's look it up. I'll figure out that. We'll figure that out, Steven. So, by the way, Steven, if you're thinking about the all access pass, everything is recorded if the timing is weird for you over there. But check this out. Aussie. We got Aussies in the house. All right. I'm not afraid to ship internationally as long as it's not like crazy expensive, because it does cost me money to send these out. Okay, but what you will learn, all right? Learn how to bring all of these topics together that we've discussed all week to create a super fun, great sounding chordlet chord idea. This will help you start to be able to play like this every time you pick up the guitar. All right, let's review a little bit like the hack. I mean, I gave you the ultimate hack here in these steps. I know I have some typos here, but check this out. All right, so the first thing you want to do is start by playing the progression with full bar chords, all right? Full bar chords are the key, right? And then you add scales or chord tones in after you play each chord. So step 1, this is a good thing here. So you play the bass note. Let's say we're doing G, A minor, C, G, right? So play the bass note, then you play the whole chord, right? So it's 1, 2, and you got beats 3 and 4 to play lick, right? Play the bass note, then the full chord. Bass note, chord, and then a little bit of lick, and then you play a little bit, add a little pentatonic lick or run. Be aware of how much time you have in between the chords to play your lick. So this is really helpful if you put on a metronome. Nobody likes it, or a drum track. But if you're like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, bass note of the A minor, 2, full bar chord, 3 and 4, and to the C, 3 and 4, and 1. Notice the way I'm getting away with this, right? So add a bass note, rest of the chord, that's 2 beats, then 3 and 4, and bass note of the A minor, chord, little pentatonic run, 3 and 4, and bass, or you could do the whole chord, or bass note, chord, 3 and 4, and 1, 2. I'd say you make lick 1 and 3 the same, because then you get a melodic idea that repeats, right? So you're like going 1, 2, 1. You could try to flip it. Pretty cool, right? So that's all you're doing. Bass note, the rest of the chord. That's 2 beats. Then a little bit of a pentatonic run in these 2 boxes over the E shape and the D shape. Then bass note, little bass note, chord, little 2-beat pentatonic run. Bass note, chord, 2-beat pentatonic run. Try to make it the same kind of lick or same phrase as the first time. That way you have like a complete musical phrase and or idea. All right? Land that lick on the root of the next bar chord. This is the ultimate hack. All right? That's what I'm telling you. Land on the bass note. It gives the listener the impression that you landed on the whole chord because but you only landed on the bass note. It gives you time to get the rest of your fingers down for the remaining bar chord or open chord shape. Right? It's kind of like playing bass. I played bass in a band for years. Like, and here's the thing. A lot of it took me a long time to learn this because I was a guitar player going from guitar to bass. The bass has to be on time. The guitar can be a little bit late as long as the bass and the drums are in time. So if you can land your bass notes in time, your guitar chord can be just like a little late. It doesn't have to be right on time. It's like, so that is it. So now let's get into that. You want to remember that this is like a really, really good gold nugget. All right, that's now forever yours if you've gotten all the stuff right. So basically, if you've fully signed up, and all that. So if we come over here to session 5. We already know what we're going to learn. So remember, the chord progression is G, A minor, C, G, or 1, 2, 4, 1. A lot of people in the comments got this right. Okay. With where we are playing these chords, we really only need. We really only need to focus on the patterns 1 through 3, which are highlighted below. Okay, I'll show you here in a minute. Okay. Any of these notes from the above scale will work great with our chord-lick chord progression. Essentially, we are working towards playing a really nice musical line between chords. This does not have to only apply to a chord-lick chord concept. This is just applying to playing lead and or rhythm guitar well, right? So like, even if I didn't play a chord-lick chord thing, being able to go grabbing the triads, you're still trying to have good timing. It's still rhythm guitar, even when you go. You just know what you're doing. It's not. And if you did like eighth notes, like. Power chord, or just triads, I guess. So all this stuff relates to rhythm guitar, as well as it relates to like lead guitar, right? And even if you don't like a chord-lick chord thing, which you probably all do, that's probably why you found me in the first place. You really have to think about like, the chord-lick chord concept is just teaching you basic phrasing, right? And we get way more into that type of stuff in the All Access Pass. So any of the notes from the above scale will work great. The next thing you want to do is play the progression, add a little slide or hammer on or pull off using the scale and or chord tone. Remember, we had a backing track to practice this stuff with, right? To give some texture and style to your chord lick idea. You can start by playing the progression with full bar chords and then add the scale or chord tone ideas after you play each chord, like what we talked about last night and I just reviewed with you. Add a little pentatonic run. Be aware of how much time you have in between chords to play your lick. This is one of the most important parts of a good chord transition lick, all right? Land that lick on the root of the next bar chord. You can do this many ways, but this is just getting you started with it. This is the ultimate hack because it gives you, the listener, the impression that you landed on the chord, but you landed on the bass note, and it gives you time to get the rest of your fingers down for the remaining chord shape. You can also do this with triads, but we're just starting with chords you already know. I do it a lot with triads where I'm like, sorry. So you can move it around however you want. Let's take a look at what we can create with everything we've learned this week. Remember, it's going to take a while to get these concepts down, but you now have the tools to take your playing to the next level, all right? We don't want to end the party tonight or tomorrow or Sunday after our bonus sessions. You need to keep it going, right? This type of momentum that we've created throughout the week is something that you don't get every day, especially on the internet. It's just people just blasting you with ads all day long. You never get this kind of momentum really anywhere, right? So this has been an entire week of master classes to help fire you up, get you playing more guitar than you've played in a long time. And I've had comments and emails from people saying, man, I'm finally excited to play guitar again. This is great. I've had people message me and say, thank you so much. I'm playing more this week than I've played in months, type of a thing. And so that is the point of this. We can keep all this going with the All Access Pass. Open Sunday at 5 p.m. Central, all right? So remember, those gold slots are going to fill up. So let's put all this together. We're going to expand your knowledge and gain insights from industry leaders. Okay, that's not what I wanted. So whether you're looking to master advanced editing techniques. Okay, I got some bad stuff in here, so hold on. So chord lick chord concept 1. I think I'm looking at an old copy here. I'm looking at the wrong copy. I'm looking at a version 1. So look, chord lick chord concept 1. All right, so let's take a look at this. We're putting all this together, all right? So we've got tab here. So if you're not great at reading tab, you're going to want to get this going, okay? So we've got 2 concepts. We've got a kind of an intermediate, late beginner level, and then we've got a little bit more of an advanced level, okay? So this is what we're going to, right? Take your playing to the next level, join the community, all this stuff. All Access Pass is coming on Sunday. So let's take a look at this. I'm definitely looking at an old version of this. Oh, well, I got it, the gist of it is here. So we're playing the bass note first. Oh, yeah, let me pull this up. Playing the bass note first, chord. Let me zoom a little bit. We got bass note first, chord, bass note, chord, and then bass note, chord. So I'm going to play it fast first because that's the easier. Guitar mastery sucks. I don't know what that means, but in general it sucks, or just so this is the lick. All right, that is that. Okay, so this is what we're doing. I'm going to break this down kind of note for note because it's kind of tricky, all right? So grab your guitars. Let's go through this thing. Oh, I don't know. I guess that's another program. I don't know anything about it. I don't know that program. This is way more personalized than a lot of things that are out there. So look, you got a G bar chord. You're playing bass note, chord, and then we're right into the D-shaped major pentatonic. We're going slide into 7, and then that's on the 5th string, sliding into 7, 5, into 7 on the 4th string, and then I grab the 5th fret 6th string. So it's bass note, bar chord, slide into 7, 5, 7 on the 4th string, 5. There's my bass note, my minor bar chord right here, or minor 7th, and then I slide into that same lick, slide into 7, 5 to 7 on the 5th string, 5 on the 4th string, then I bar 5 and 5 on the 4th and 3rd string, and I do a nice little double stop lick. This is great. You can do these all over the fretboard. You just got to know where they're at. Yeah, one scale to rule them all, Dan O'Brien. All right, so I'm going 5 and 5. That's G and C up to D and A, and then right back. So the first 2 measures, bass note. So it's like boom. That's the first bit. Try that on your own. In the master classes that I do every month in the All Access Pass, you get everybody's on camera. So if you want to ask a question, we'll get to see each other, and you can even play a little bit. So this is much different. So it's like this is harder because like I can't see you guys. So it's like boom. One scale to rule them all. It sounds like Lord of the Rings. So that's your first move. You got to get that move. Bass note, bar chord, pentatonic, bass note, bar chord, bass pentatonic, 7 into 7, 5 on the 4th string, 5 and 5 on the 4th and 3rd string, up to 7 and back to 5. One strum, just like that. Then I play the bass note of the C in the A shape, if we know our cage. Oh, and then I go, bass note. You don't have to do the pig scrape thing. That's a little bit advanced to go like that. So kind of what we're going for, bass. So let's take a look at from the beginning again. If you have questions, drop it in there, right? I'm here listening. Not listening, I can't hear you, but I'm watching. So 1, it's actually kind of distracting the chat, but I'm here for it. So 1, you'd have to follow that pretty closely to get that to feel right. Bass note, G chord, 5 to 7 on the 5th string, 5, 7 on the 4th string. Just pluck that 5 to 7 on the 5th is a slide, and then quick one, and then 5, 7 on the 4th, 5 on the 6th, into your A minor chord, 5 into 7, slide on the 5th, 5 that G, then I bar right there, D and G and C, 5 and 5, up to 7 and 7, and right back down. So boom, just like that, and then I go bass note of my C in the A shape. If you got to do it like that, you do it like that. If not, I bar mine because it just works for me. A lot of people have to do their A shape like this. So boom. So check this out. Boom, and then you go bass. You go mute up on the C, mute up on the G, and then down on the G. And now you're right here, and you got a nice double stop lick. 3 and 3, the G and the D on the first 2 strings. And to really get that, you got to arch this hand. This is the only way. If I'm like this, I'm going to mute that first string. You got to be willing to drop the wrist, okay? When you drop the wrist, I don't know what this double stop's based off of particularly, Scott, but so like just like that. So, what's that? Could you maybe say what those notes are related to? A pattern or triad rather than... Yeah. So, look. This is exactly what I'm doing. So, look. If I do this G, and then I bar... I'm going to finish explaining what I was explaining first. So, 3 and 3 on the first 2 strings, and then I hammer my ring finger on to that 5th fret 2nd string, right? This is out of your C shape, kind of, but it's also out of your major pentatonic of G major, right? It could be shape 2 of the minor or shape 1 of the major that outlines your E shape, okay? So it's pretty cool. So if I do this again, I'll do this again, right? So that last lick, so you got the, right up here, you've got the down on the A shape, right? Down, mute up on the E shape of G, down on the G in the E shape, and this is right out of G major pentatonic. Hammer, I'm barring 3 and 3, hammer the 5th fret 3rd string, 2nd string, right? That's D to E, just out of this major pentatonic of G major, or shape 1 of the major or 2 of the minor, if you're thinking relative minor, and then back to G, and then that's the whole thing. It happens twice. So let me play this again. So you got... It just repeats. So there's your first and exclusive chord lick chord thing that we've done based on all the knowledge that we've put together all week, right? So this is just a G major bar chord, this first thing right here, right? Bass note, and then we're into the major pentatonic of G major out of that D shape. You could say major shape 2. Right, and then I go to the A minor pentatonic, or A minor, not pentatonic, A minor bar chord. And then I'm doing G major pentatonic out of the D shape, or shape 2 of the major, 3 of the minor, it's confusing. And then I bar here, and this is just out of the G major scale, right? And I'm just going G and C up to D and E, or D and A, sorry. And then back to this C root, which is just out of this A shape, G. And that muted thing's kind of... When I'm doing the muted thing, I'm just smacking the strings with my fingers in place, but I'm just not pushing down. I'm like... You can see my hand coming up. So my hand's in place, so you hear the muted percussive thing. Just like that. And then back down. And then this little run right here, this little double stop run, is just out of G major pentatonic or the G major scale. The the whole thing's out of the G major pentatonic. 3 and 3. Hammer on to 5 of that second string. Remember, you got to drop the wrist for that double stop to work. That's the only way. If you're flat, if your wrist is parallel, it's kind of muted, right? So if you get your wrist to drop, then you hear the double stop. So okay, so that's the first one. Any questions over that one before I move on? I'll let that catch up, but then I'm going to go on probably. Man, what the heck? We got all kinds of people north in the Northland here, right? We got all kinds of Canadians. This is crazy. So we're continuing to put it all together. I'm going to keep going here, all right? I didn't get any questions. So this one's a little bit more advanced, but it's very similar to the other one. Australia playing a Strandbird. Dude, we got all kinds of Strandbird. Oh, Lucy, you were already here. Lucy Day, Australia playing a Strandbird Bowden. Nice progression. Simple and melodic. Thank you, Lucy. Loving it and is going. Loved it. This is going good. Thanks, Ted. Shady Lanes, Ontario in the house. Just about got it, says Gen X Rocker. Ted says, I'll be using it this weekend. Suntan Kid, hopefully that was helpful. I kind of broke down what pentatonic or major scale I was using there. That double stop is just based off the G major pentatonic. I don't know what the GMM is or guitar mastery method. Never heard of it. But that's because I don't pay attention to much except for what I'm doing. I see some other people that I really like out there, but okay, let's move on here. Here's the next one, okay? This is the next one. Wait, why can't I scroll? Okay, there we go. So keep your questions ready to go. Oh, yeah, I get it. Just trying to picture the pentatonic scale. So look, if you're wanting to picture the pentatonic scale over it, it's difficult, right? So I only used really this one and this one. That kind of overlapped there. But the first part is like that G major chord is right in this pattern too, if you want to call that. Right? And then I go, right? And then, and that's this. Now I'm immediately into this 5 to 7 in that pattern over the D shape. Excuse me. The trees are blooming here, right? And then I went into this shape again, but I did play a note that's not out of the pentatonic right here. I did this G and this C. This note may not be in the pentatonic when I do this double stop, but I do slide up to 2 notes that are. This is in the full G major scale, that note, but it's just not in your pentatonic. Thanks. Okay, so that should, and the next thing is all based off of basically pattern 2 and 3 here as well. The language gets kind of weird, but thanks. I don't know where that sneeze came from, but clearly it's about to be allergy season here in Kansas City, Missouri. That's where I am. I never say where I'm from, but there we go. I live in a suburb of Kansas City, Missouri. Go Chiefs. Go Royals. All right, so way harder. All right. Yes, there's. Hold on 1 second. Not much different. Not much different. So hold on 1 second. Let me see. Let me grab something real quick here. I'll give you. Well, the A minor is a separate thing. So hold on 1 second. The booklet is here, y'all. I figured you had it by now. So for now, the replays are up. For now, the replays are up, but they won't last. Okay, so this is. Let me grab. Hold on. If you fully registered for the boot camp, you should have it. Landing page. We'll get to this last one in a second. We got time. C doesn't have an F sharp when in G. Well, there's an F sharp in the key of G, though. That should get you there. We're not playing only chord tones. We're just adding to them, Leon. So, like, we're adding to this stuff. So, basically, in key of G, it has one sharp and F sharp. So, if we're in the G major, the pentatonic doesn't have an F sharp in it, but the F sharp is there. And when you're on C, we're just playing a C chord. Unless I'm misunderstanding. I could be. I don't know. But Lucy, if you click that link and fully register, your email you'll get what you need there. I'm almost certain. So minimize. You don't lose access to the booklet. If you join the gold membership, you're going to get access to the recordings for life. So here we go. Here we go. And you have access to it all through next week. Once you sign up, it'll automatically email you the booklet. So let's get back into this. Which you probably had, though. You probably already signed up. So, and if you're a member of the Bootcamp Facebook page, there's a link right at the top to download the black and white one. So let's get back into this. We're getting off topic here. All right, here we go. I want to make sure you guys have what you need. So now this gets a little bit more complicated. So this is the culmination of everything. And basically your homework is to try the first line of your homework is to try the first four measures, because the second four measures are the same, of this chord-lick chord concept, or come up with your own and post it in the community. All right? So I'm going to teach this more advanced version of it, but your main assignment is to keep practicing everything you've done all week and post any of the previous days of homework. Right? So practice any of the previous days and post that, right? And then when you're up here, you go and you just do this. You do these four measures. Try to get these four measures, even if it's slow, and post the video of you playing it. All right? All right, so homework, post a video of anything you've worked on this week as far as homework assignments in the past have gone, and this first four measures of this first chord-lick chord lesson. All right, now I'm in the key G. So we're going right here. So let's go. All we're doing is making it a little bit more complex. So just a little bit more complex. The same basic idea here. So then it gets kind of Hendrixy on you real quick. All right. So look, if I go G and then I do a little mute, you can leave off the mute and go. You just leave it off. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold on. Can't see the whole thing. just like that. So it's easier said than done, but let's work through this thing. So we're playing a G bar chord, but bass note first. And I'm going to teach the muted part. So it's like 1, 2, and just a mute. And then I'm sliding 5 to 7 on the 5th string out of the D major, or out of the D shape of G major. All right, so 5 to 7, 5 on the 4th string. That's the G root out of that G major pentatonic. And then I hammer 5 to 7 on that. Still G major pentatonic. Land on the A minor bar chord. And then I go mute again. It's 5 to 7 again, real quick. Same kind of theme. You notice I'm keeping a theme here. 5 on the 4th string. There's my G. And then your Hendrixy move right here. Still in the key of G major. I'm just playing pieces of all this. All right. All right. So look, I'm barring 5 and 5 on the 3rd and 2nd string. Hammering on. Same thing. You got to drop your wrist. If you're like this, you'll never get it. I'm dropping my wrist. 5 and 5, the C and the E right here. And then I hammer on to that 7th fret 3rd string. And then 7, 5 on the 4th string, pull off back to that G root. All right. So I'm in. When I play the full G major scale there, off this G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. And there's my root of G. So G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Or sorry, D. So let me say that again. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Therefore, both of these notes, when I do this, it's kind of, it feels like A minor pentatonic or C major, but I'm still thinking G major, okay? All right, so look, if I do this again from the beginning, boom. So let's do that again. G, bar chord, mute, 5 to 7, 5 on the 4th string. Hammer on 5 to 7 on the 4th, still G major, pentatonic, 5th fret 6th string. It's preemptively playing the A for the A minor, and then a little mute again, 5 to 7, 5 on the 4th string. That 5 to 7's on the 5th string, 5 on the 4th, bar 5 and 5 on 3rd and 2nd. Make sure you drop your wrist, and then 7 pull off to 5, that root of G, A to G pull off, and then I land on the root of C on that 3rd fret. A shape of C, and then I slide 5 to 7 after the mute. Like that, all right? That's out of the cool little C shape of, or G shape of C. So boom, it's almost straight caged. C root, A shape, 5 to 7 on the 5th string, 5 and 5 on the 4th and 3rd, that's a G and a C, and then 7, quick slide back to 5, that's a E to a D, and then the G major bar chord. All right. All right. So check this out. I'll do that much again. All right, because that's kind of a lot to look at. So you got. Let me do that again. So that's the first bit you got to get. This is the more advanced one. I would be working towards the intermediate one before this one anyways. But I'm going to show it to you because the recordings are going to be up for like the next week. So you're going to have time to practice this stuff. So bass note, chord, mute, 5 to 7, A minor. C, chord, full chord. Slide up. That's beautiful right there. 5 to 7, bar, 5 and 5, 7 back to 5, back to the G. And then you got another little mute. The same double stop thing we did on the first one, but we hammer on. We got to drop the wrist for that double stop, right? It's the only way to get it. So you're dropping the wrist. You're going 3 and 3, G and D, and you're hammering onto that 5th fret E of the 2nd string. And then I come back to the 3 on the 2nd string. So it's like that. And then my index comes back as if I'm playing a piece of a D chord, but I got to switch fingering for the next double stop. This is still in G major pentatonic. So 2nd fret A of the 3rd string, 3rd fret D of the 2nd string, and I strum both. I'm looking I'm looking right here, okay? And then I'm going strum those 2 notes only, hammer to the 4th fret 3rd string, pull off to 2, pull off to open. So it's like you might have to sit and then I'm back to G, and then the whole thing starts again. So it's like that's probably the hardest move of any of these, because you got to go 2 on G, 3 on B, that's A and a D, and then I strum those 2, hammer onto 4, which is the B, pull off back to 2 while everything's ringing, and then pull off to the open on that 3rd string. Right? So from the beginning, and then it just starts over again. But like from the beginning, what I would do is, in the same thing on this, when we're putting it all together, do 1 measure. Just only get the 1 measure, right? Then go, all right, let me get the 2nd measure. And then put both measures together, right? And then go, all right, let me get the 3rd measure. And then put all 3 measures together. And then go, all right, let me only practice the 4th measure. And then put all 4 measures together. It just makes sense. That way you're not practicing a mistake. That's one of the best things I had a great teacher show me once, is like, your brain is quick. His name is Anthony Gleiss. He's like a world-renowned classical guitarist. So if you make a mistake once, okay. But if you make a mistake twice, you learn the mistake. So you don't want to keep practicing the mistake. So if you find here, but you make a mistake here every single time, you want to isolate where you're making the mistake. Don't just keep pushing through it and making the same mistake, all right? It's like an analogy for life. All right. So we're not going to become a life coach here, but look. So it's like you want to practice 1 measure, get it right. Then separate, practice the 2nd measure, and then overlap. Practice the 3rd measure. You could even overlap measures 2 and 3, and then practice all 3. Practice the 4th measure, practice measure 4 into 3 into 4, and then do all 4 measures, and then you've got it. If you do it that way, you're going to have to spend more time, but you just have to spend time, right? You don't get great at guitar by just wishing and hoping and buying, a new guitar, even though everyone wishes if I bought a new expensive guitar that would make me play better. The time is spent with this in your hand, overlapping things, right? And saying, all right, I'm going to get this 1st measure, it's slow, right? So, and then it's like, all right, let me get this 2nd measure slow, and then we're going to overlap both measures. All right, let me get this 3rd measure slow. Then we're going to overlap all 3. 4th measure, then overlap all 4. That's the discipline that you've got to be able to get, all right? I wish, John. That's why I haven't bought a new guitar in a while, because I figured out that it wasn't making me any better. Even though I've got like 2 in my cart on reverb. I'm surprised those sellers don't reach out and try to offer me a deal. Oh, gosh. Someday somebody's going to get my money on a guitar. I just don't know what day. All right, let's look at this again. So let's check this out. I'm about to reward myself. Let's see. We got... Yeah, there's pieces of triads all in here, Suntan Kid. So I'm using pieces of them the entire time, right? So like when I'm looking at this, I'm grabbing pieces of it, and you can simplify as well, or you can add them in even more. So check this out. The triads were night 3. Yeah, night 3 were triads, but this is just like getting your concept down, right? So night 3 was triads. So you just got to go back and work those so that you can recognize where they're at within this. Because like, even if I didn't play this bass note first and I went, essentially I'm still playing a triad right here. I'm just bass, triad. You could grab this, right? It's up to you to throw in some of the triads at this point. Instead of the full A minor, grab a piece of it. So it's like... There's a C triad. There's a G triad. A minor triad. C triad. That all comes later in the all access pad. pass, but we get into all that stuff. It would take all night long to break down every single piece of a triad that we've got in here, but man, yes, that is all stuff that I teach and talk about on a much slower paced level. If I were to throw all that in here tonight, man, there would be a lot. But yes, so there's pieces of triads all over this thing. So let's go. I'm going to play the same piece again. Still quite a few of you guys in here tonight, so let's go. That's tricky too when I'm right here and I slide into 7. When I go 7 into 5, 5, and then barring 5 and 5 right here. Thanks, Dan. When I do that 7 to 5 pull off, that's crazy. That's weird. Back to the C. There's a piece of a triad right there for you. When I go 5 to 7, and then you can just bar that full thing. All right, that's it. And then the last bit is right here. Oh no, guys, we're getting to the end. Throw your questions in. That's how you're gonna keep me here. And then tomorrow we're gonna go live. I'll send out something on what time. So boom. The last bit on this measure 4. Got to drop that wrist for that double stop right here, right? Or piece of a triad. Okay? Hopefully all of that just makes a ton of sense to you guys. So, you're going to have to take your time with it. You're going to have to really take your time with this stuff to get it down. But I'm down to answer any and all questions about this. Or anything that might be in the all access pass. I'm not going to drop prices until probably tomorrow or Sunday morning, I think. So, yeah, it's going to be fair. Let's put it that way for lifetime access. It'll be fair for lifetime access to community, master classes type thing. It'll be fair. Current, future classes. Down to answer questions. Like, look at what we've done, you guys. In 5 days, we've done music theory, right? We've done caged. We've done triads. We've done chord progressions with triads, scales with triads, and then we put it all together with our own chord-lick chord, and I gave you the framework to start doing your own chord-lick chord stuff. I love to think of them as, thanks, Peggy. I love to think of them as, I mean, for example, Scott, but hold on, let me see. So we've used pentatonics and position numbers as caged. Would it be? I like to think of them as cage shapes a lot of times. I'll be quite honest with you. The verbiage for major and minor pentatonics, like what pattern is what, really gets, it really gets kind of blurred. Like somebody's calling this shape 1 of major and shape 2 of major. So like for me, I think at the end of the day, you're not going to like this answer, but like I relate them all to cage. So like here's G shape. I know which pattern that is. Like I also know what number it is, but that's because I've been playing guitar for like 30 years. But like, and then I'm like, oh, here's the E shape. There's my major pentatonic over that. I also know that's E minor pentatonic just because I know. But sometimes I'll be teaching and I'll be like, what pentatonic pattern am I on? And I'll forget and I'll be like, okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's because the verbiage is confusing. So I like to think of them in the cage system in some ways and then just realize that there's the relative minor that goes with them. That can be kind of confusing. So I get why people learn them based on pattern numbers. That being said, eventually you want to play these things That being said, you want to play these things so many times that they all become one big pattern, right? There's only 5 shapes. You just got to memorize all 5 shapes and keep playing them. I've been playing for 30 years. I still warm up with these things because I want them to be like second nature. That's why, like, if I was playing up here and I was going, and you're like, what shape are you on? I'd be like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I just don't think about that anymore. But it's not really fair to say that to you because I've been playing for so long. Like I do think of them as relative of minors. Like this is minor 1, the V minor. If that's 1, then there's 5, 4, 3, 2, and back to 1. You know what I mean? One's major, one's minor. You're right. When you come up with no, I don't always do 4 bars mostly. It's just because the video time length online is kind of short. You could just keep playing that way. I mean, you could do like an 8-bar measure and do one progression for the first 4 bars, another progression for the next 4 bars. That's just what I did. So like you could go. Just keep it going. But yeah, I think it's easier to think of it in 2 to 4 bar phrases at this stage. And really, it goes for soloing as well. Like if I'm... Well, that's fast. Let me slow it down. So it's like... If I take that progression, like phrasing-wise... And whoever was asking about triads earlier, I'm thinking about them as I solo, right? So I'm thinking about triad shapes as I solo and improvise, like under the G, under the A minor, under the C, the 1, 2, 4. Because when I do that, then I know I'm grabbing the chord tones that I really want that are going to be the most melodic. So if I go... Thanks. The color or the sound, John Purcell? So I'm thinking 3rd, 5th, 3rd, root. But yeah. Oh, good. Glad you got them. That's great. So I'm playing a band with play with friends. Not yes, that is true, Ted. Great job, Peppy. I do love the blue. So do I. Thanks, John. Lucy, let it go. Yes, this is great advice from Ted. You don't just want to you don't want to always just be like a bedroom guitar player. You do need to get out and play with friends or find like a local jam session or open mic and just go for it. My advice on if you're going to go to like an open mic or a jam session, go check it out once first, right? Don't even take your guitar. Just go to the local place that's doing it. Check it out and then go grab them. I don't really do like private one-on-ones hourly anymore. No, it's the all access pass and then one other thing that I offer that's not really open right now. I do have one thing that would maybe include some of that one-on-one feedback, but it's just not open for enrollment this week. Don't really teach song arrangements, no. I feel like there's a lot of that out there. I mean, I can. I just don't typically do it. I might do it like in a YouTube video, like a one-off. This is just a, you can't see it, but this is just a matchless, well, sorry, this is a Kemper profiler. So it profiles famous amps, and this is a buddy of mine is a session guitar player, and he sent me all his profiles. This is an M. Britt. It's the guy that made the profiler. It's whatever. It's not the guy who I'm friends with, but this is a matchless SC30. The only effects on here are reverb, and I have the amp's gain set a little bit just on the edge of breakup. So instead of it just being super clean, you hear... Right, it's a little gritty. But it can also be nice and mellow if I turn the volume down. I found that I really find that I like the matchless amps on the Kemper. They sound really, really close to like a real amp. You know what I mean? You can't see it, but I have a Dr. Z Maz 18 that I do tours with and play gigs with, and then I have a Princeton Reverb, a 65 Deluxe reissue Fender, and I have an old Fender Bassman over here. It's like a 66 or something like that. So I've got my tube amps for when I can use them out on gigs, but I've got the Kemper profiler for like wedding gigs and stuff like that, church gigs if I do them or whatever, because it sounds as close to a real amp as I could find. I don't know that I have three favorite players. I mean, I have a bunch of favorite guitar players. I don't have like just one or three. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I really like Wes Montgomery for jazz. I really like Derek Trucks. I like Jimmy Herring a lot. Jam band guy. Trying to think who else. Of course, I like John Mayer. I love Jimi Hendrix. I like John Scofield for like jazzy stuff. I like Dickie Betts a lot. Dwayne Allman a lot. It's hard for me. I don't know that I can say one. I loved Jimmy Page. I still love Jimmy Page's stuff from Led Zeppelin a ton. I grew up thinking I wanted to be Eddie Van Halen. So obviously I liked his playing. I learned a lot of Slash stuff. I think who else? I learned Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff. I don't know. I don't think I have the three. The three that come to mind now that I would pay good money to go see, I like Eric Clapton, would be Derek Trucks, John Mayer, Jimmy Herring, Warren Haynes. Anybody with great stuff. Well, John, send me an email. The All Access Pass is opening Sunday at 5 p.m. We're going to do a bonus session tomorrow. I'll send some information out about that in the community and in the email tonight and tomorrow morning. So let's get after this. You guys have a great night, Prince, of course. But thank you for being here and part of this. We're going to do a bonus session tomorrow and one at 4 o'clock for sure. Oh, I do love Marcus King. Yeah, we'll do a bonus session for sure on Sunday at 4 p.m. Central. Doors to the All Access Pass membership opens at 5 p.m. Central. March 15th closes that next Saturday at midnight on the dot. Okay, only 50 gold memberships. The silver open to everybody. There's not a cap on that. Just 50 for the community. And yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for those. And y'all have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.